Hey Arnold, Arnold's Valentine by Craig Bartlett and Maggie Groening. Chapter 1. Check this out, Gerald. Arnold held up a large, red, lacy, glittery angel-strewn valentine. What do you think? I stayed up practically all night making it. Gerald gave a low whistle. Man, that is some piece of work. Oh, Arnold, you're way ahead of us. Miss Slavick's voice came ringing from the front of the classroom. That's just what we're all going to do today, she said as she beamed at the 4th grade class. Now, because it's Valentine's Day, and in keeping with our heart theme unit, we're going to make a valentine for someone we care about. She smiled radiantly at the blank faces. Any questions? Good. Let's get going. The kids set to work with red and white paper, lacy paper doilies, and large amounts of glue and glitter. All except Helga, who just chewed her pencil anxiously. She stared at the bright red paper heart in front of her. Then she wrote, Arnold, be my Valentine. Sincerely, Helga. She studied it for a few seconds, then frowned. Sincerely. Yeah, that's romantic. She quickly erased and wrote again, Arnold, be my Valentine, or else. She studied the card, then erased again. Dear football head. Helga grabbed her head with both hands and moaned. Nah. She erased so fiercely that the red paper tore. Oh, criminy, stupid Valentine's Day. I hate it. She looked over to where Arnold was sitting, 2 rows away, and sighed as she eavesdropped on him. Gerald, tell me how this sounds, Arnold said. I have long admired you from afar, and now I, like to admire you from up close. Please meet me at Chaz Pier tonight at 6 o'clock. Gerald shook his head admiringly. You've got some guts, Arnold. Arnold smiled as he finished writing. Signed Anonymous, he said. Gerald rolled his eyes. I guess I spoke too soon. You gotta sign it, man. How she's gonna know who Anonymous is? She'll just know, Gerald. As Arnold held up his finished valentine to admire it, Helga stiffened. She could read the large letters on Arnold's card. To Ruth. To Ruth? Ruth? What does he want with her? Helga's grip tightened on her pencil as she muttered to herself. She's nothing but a stuck-up, 6th grade training bra wearing, bracy face 6th grade 6th grader. The thought of them together makes me... The pencil snapped in two. Ugh. Helga hurled the pieces into the basket. Miss Slavick frowned disapprovingly at Helga, then addressed the class. Now, class, time to neatly put away our supplies. And while we're doing that, I'll hand out the latest letters from our overseas pen pals. She reached into the mailbag on her desk. Here's one for Rhonda. She pulled out a heart-shaped box. Looks like another package of gourmet chocolates from Paolo in Italy. Helga sighed. I never get any fancy presents from my pen pal. Don't worry, Helga, said Miss Slavick. Sometimes the most beautiful gift can come in the plainest box. Let's see what we have from your pen pal. She dug around in the bottom of the mailbag, frowning. Oh, here we are. Miss Slavick handed Helga a limp postcard. It showed a barren, brown desert with a single dry and sickly-looking tree. Helga flipped the card over. Please send money. Yeah, right, she muttered. Beautiful. Miss Slavick pulled out a thick, bumpy, grease-spotted letter and held it at arm's length. Arnold, Here's another letter from your pen pal, Cecile, in France. She sniffed. And it certainly seems potent. Great, Arnold said. I bet it's that blue cheese she promised. Just then, the bell rang. Arnold laid the letter on his desk. Guess I'll read it after recess. He headed out the door with Gerald. Chapter 2. At recess, Helga slumped in a corner by herself, arms folded across her knees. She glowered across the playground at Ruth, who sat at a picnic table, sorting through a pile of Valentines. Suddenly, Arnold snuck up behind Ruth and slipped his Valentine into her pile. Then he ducked behind a tree and watched eagerly as Ruth opened his Valentine, read it, and smiled mysteriously. Helga slapped her forehead. Criminy! Not only is Arnold mooning over that idiotic sixth grader, but he's got that baguette-eating so-and-so Cecile writing him fancy letters. What am I gonna do? She muttered. I've got no one, and he's got 2 Helga stopped. She blinked twice, then smiled slowly. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. If he wants 2 Valentines, I'll give him 2. She chuckled. Then she jumped up and sneaked into the school. Alone in the classroom, Helga went straight to Arnold's desk and opened the letter from his pen pal. Chunks of white, blue-veined cheese fell to the floor. She took a step back from the mess and began to read. Dear Arnold, how are you? Everything is... Trust being here in France. I'm sending you some blue cheese. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Helga looked around and seized a pen from a nearby desk. Now, to implement my brilliant plan. She hunched over the letter and wrote, P.S. I am coming to visit you in the United States and I want to meet you on Valentine's Day at... Helga paused and thought, oh, criminy. What was that restaurant where Arnold wanted Ruth to meet him at? Ches Paris? Yeah, that's it. Ches Paris. She studied her effort. Perfect. Helga put the letter back in its envelope and laid it on Arnold's desk. This is gonna get fun, she said and ran back outside. Arnold read his pen pal's letter out loud as he and Gerald walked home that afternoon. When he got to the P.S., he stopped and stared in disbelief. Oh no! Cecile is flying into town with her parents, and she wants to meet me tonight. Gerald, help me! Arnold pleaded. Yeah, right, Arnold. Like you really need my help, Gerald said playfully. You've got a Valentine's date with not 1, but 2 girls, while I'll be stuck playing Got Your Nose with my kid sister? They continued walking. Arnold thought hard. They turned a corner and Arnold stopped again. Look, Gerald. He pointed at 2 restaurants. It's so weird. I'm meeting Ruth at Ches Pierre and right across the street is the other restaurant where Cecile wants to meet me, Ches Paris. Gerald looked from one restaurant to the other and then back again. He smiled. He had an idea. Okay, Arnold, I got it. Here's what you do. Set up tables in both restaurants. And if Ruth doesn't show up, and believe me, she won't, you're cool. If she does, you can make an excuse and go across the street. Arnold followed Gerald's gaze from one restaurant to the other. He smiled. Gerald, it just might work. Chapter 3. Helga ran all the way home. When she got there, she closed the front door behind her and leaned against it, thinking furiously. Okay, step 1 accomplished. Now for step 2. She turned and ran up the stairs to her room. Rummaging through her cassette tapes, she plucked one out and shoved it into her tape player. Then she ran to her closet and began quickly picking through her clothes. I gotta find something that makes me look French. Helga grabbed a lime green knit dress and held it up, checking the effect in the mirror. Hello, boys and girls. I'm the lunch lady. This won't do. She threw it on the floor and continued her search. The tape began to play. A cheerful voice filled the room. Bonjour, and welcome to So You Want to Speak French. I'm your teacher, Monsieur Tavernier. Helga held up a blouse with puffy sleeves and tiny clown faces all over it. It immediately joined the pile on the floor. She plunged deeper into the closet. When she emerged, she was dragging a striped dress with long sleeves. A few alterations, and this just might work. Up in his attic room, Arnold paced back and forth. What am I going to say to her, Gerald? You gotta have some kind of speech prepared. Gerald said from his relaxed position flat on the couch. You can just walk in there and babble. Ruth's an older woman. She'll think you're a goofball. Right. So, what should I say? Well, what do you know about her? Arnold thought for a moment, and his face softened into a dreamy smile. Well, she's tall and delicate, and she has this really shiny auburn hair that just kind of cascades over her ears, and soft brown eyes that sparkle somehow, and... Arnold, are you trying to make me puke? Gerald said. Huh? Arnold shook his head, letting go of the vision. Oh, sorry, Gerald. It's just when I think about her, I feel sort of floaty. Gerald stood up and took Arnold by the shoulders, giving him a firm shake. Get a hold of yourself. Look, all that stuff is just what you see. What do you really know about Ruth? Well, I know she's, Arnold looked blank. I guess I really don't know much about her. I just want to tell her how much I like her. Gerald sighed loudly. This is going to be even harder than I thought. Listen, you're going to have to come in slow. Find out some things about her. Hobbies, her favorite color, deep stuff like that. And then build to the big moment, where you'll tell her, he winced, the yucky stuff. Arnold sat down and Gerald started pacing. Now let's plan out some speeches in case you freeze up. Okay, Arnold thought for a minute. Okay, how's this? Ruth, I know you don't really know me, and I don't really know you, added Gerald. Right. Arnold waved him to be quiet. But for the past few months, I've watched you from afar, and I think you're really pretty, and you have a nice smile, and once I saw you give up your seat on the bus to an old lady carrying a watermelon. Gerald perked up a little. Hey, that's good. And it probably sounds dumb, but whenever I think about you, I get all floaty. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I really like you, and I think you're... Arnold paused and looked sheepishly over at Gerald. You're gonna puke, right? Gerald didn't answer right away. Gerald? It's beautiful, man. Don't change a thing, he sighed. Let's go get you dressed. Chapter 4. Helga's new French look was coming together. She hardly looked like herself at all. Her striped dress with the oddly cut asymmetrical sleeves trailed behind her as she clumped along the sidewalk in her big sister's Olga's smart, but slightly too large, high-heeled shoes. Now, my hair. What do I do about my hair? Then she spotted a store sign, Jolie Chien Salon. That's the ticket. Just what I need, a French hair salon. She headed for the store. Real French. That's the look. Whatever frou-frou, la-di-da business they're wearing in Paris. As Helga looked through the windows, a woman emerged carrying 2 yapping, freshly groomed French poodles. Arnold and Gerald found an ancient tuxedo in a rarely open boarding house closet. It fit Arnold pretty well. "Man, you're sharp. You could be a waiter," Gerald said admiringly. "I couldn't have done this without you, Gerald," Arnold said, checking his watch. "Well, I gotta go. Wish me luck." "You won't need luck. Just remember everything I told you." Arnold and Gerald did their secret handshake. It didn't make Arnold feel more confident, but it did help him feel like he still had a friend. He turned and headed for Chez Paris. When Helga emerged from the Jolie Chien salon 3 hours later, her once blonde hair was pale pink and her stiff pigtails had been permed and shaped into 2 pink puffballs that stuck out like a poodle's ears on both sides of her head. Her pink bangs hung poofily over one eye. Helga glanced at her reflection in the window. "Oh well, they say it's the rage in Paris." She shrugged. "Whatever." She checked her watch. "Oh my gosh, I'll be late to meet my beloved." As she clumped along in slightly too big shoes, she smiled dreamingly. Now my plan comes together. Not only will I be snatching my beloved Arnold from the clutches of that dopey, air-brained 6th grade yo-yo Ruth, but I will finally get to express my true feelings to him of the football-shaped head for whom I so long have pined. She sighed romantically. And the best part is there's no risk involved. Arnold won't even know it's me. All he'll see is Cecile. Boy, what a great plan. Nothing can go wrong. Meanwhile, flying high above the Atlantic Ocean, a 9-year-old girl was so excited that the only thing keeping her from dancing on the chair was her seatbelt. She stared eagerly out the window at the clouds, then turned to her father. "Oh, Papa, I'm so happy," the girl said. "After so long writing letters back and forth, tonight I will finally meet my wonderful American pen pal, Arnold." Her father smiled at her. "Ah, oui, Cecile. I am so happy for you too. Just think of the look on Arnold's face when you surprise him with your visit." Chapter 5. At the Chez Paris restaurant, Arnold waited nervously at a table for 2 near the door. He folded and refolded his napkin into something sort of like a swan, in between checking his watch and glancing at the door. He studied his photo of Cecile for the 4th time. Just as he was putting it away, someone called his name. "Arnold, over here. Bonsoir. Ooh la la." Arnold looked at the pink-haired girl waving to him. He stood up. Cecile? It's great to finally meet you." He took out the photo and stared. "Gee, you don't look much like your picture." Helga snatched the photo away. "I don't? Come ça? What do you know?" She laughed nervously as she tore the photo to shreds behind her back. "And your accent," said Arnold. "It's so American." "Yes, oui. I've been working on my English, ooh la la," Helga said. They sat down, and Helga tried to bury her head in her menu. Arnold studied her carefully. Finally, she put down the menu and glared at him. "What? What is it?" Arnold shook his head. "There's just something about you. I almost feel like I know you already." Helga tugged her poofy pink bangs a little lower over her face. "That's impossible, merci beaucoup. We've never met, never seen each other before. Ever. Ooh la la." Arnold blinked, a little taken aback. "I know, I meant from your letters." Helga swallowed. "Oh, right, my letters. Ha ha ha. Well, Fromage. She ducked behind the menu again. So tell me more about your life in France, said Arnold. I have so many questions. France. Well, Paris is quite a city, big and busy and full of French people. Ooh la la. Arnold looked confused. Paris? But I thought you lived on a farm in Lower Valley. A farm. Ah, oui, oui. My farm. How could I forget my lovely farm? She looked stricken. And how are the goats doing? And your friend Monique, is she still? Helga started to panic. Ah, oui, of course. Merci beaucoup. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. How do you like your school? What is it called again? Pt.109? Actually, it's PS118, Arnold said. And it's pretty good, I guess. And how about your class? Do you like the other students? Sure. Helga leaned forward. Is there anyone you especially like in your class? Perhaps a smart, funny, beautiful, interesting girl? Arnold thought hard. I never really thought about it. Let's see. Beautiful, smart. He shook his head, stumped. Helga drummed her nails on the table. Perhaps not necessarily beautiful, but possessing a certain je ne sais quoi. Arnold looked at her doubtfully. I'm not sure I know anyone who has one of those. Helga shook her head impatiently. Arnold, what I want to ask you is... Arnold glanced out the window at Chez Pierre, the restaurant across the street. Ruth had just walked up. He could see her standing near the door. Arnold turned back to Cecile. Excuse me a minute. I have to go to the... Ah, oui, oui, Helga said. Exactly. Arnold walked quickly from the table. When he got to the exit, he glanced back to check that Cecile wasn't watching. Then he bolted across the street. Helga didn't notice. She was already rehearsing for Arnold's return. Arnold, I have to tell you, I like, I'm deeply in, like, oh, I'm never going to say it. She slapped her forehead. Pull yourself together, Helga. Cecile. Helga. Criminy. I'm a basket case. To be continued.